All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I see we have a few people who look like they may be coming in. Let's see. Let's see. All right, guys. Good afternoon. Let me make sure I'm going live on I am. All right, good. That's what I wanted to see. All right, you all. Good afternoon out there. It is the top of the hour, a couple minutes after. We always want to make sure that we're set up properly and we want to make sure that everyone can see us from all over. Today is Thursday. I don't know about you all, but it's cold. It's cold here in Wisconsin. It is cold. And the thing is, I'm not acting brand new, y'all. You know, I tell people all the time, I find it funny. And Dr. Joy, you can relate to this. We live in the coldest parts of the US. So why do we act
Yes.
so shocked every time, right? But we still do. We act like we don't know it's coming, but it's coming all the time, every year. So I am here this afternoon for a little lunchtime chat. We have some amazing things happening on this side of the planets, and we want to make sure that everyone knows all about it. Milwaukee and Chicago. Milwaukee and Chicago. It's coming up. Dr. Joy, are you excited about this weekend? It's going to be a pretty big weekend. It's been a pretty big month. But what
Yes.
excites you about this weekend? We're just gonna jump right in. What excites you about this weekend?
The biggest thing is to feel the energy of the other people who get it. So it's beneficial to me as a newer business partner to see what allowed Planet to make it this far.
Hmm.
So, and that energy is going to be in the room. I need some of that. So
Yes.
I want to feel it. I want to experience it. About to get my ticket for next year because I'm going to that too. I
Convention.
gotta fit. Yes, I have to be a convention next year. So
Good.
I, I'm taking off in January. So don't tell me I have something I have to do because I'm putting mine in early.
That is amazing. I'm so excited to hear that. Listen, yeah, Dr. Joy went right in. She said she wants to feel the energy in the room. And that was my topic for today, guys, the power of being in the right room. Michelle is on live with us. She said, that's right, Dr. Joy. And see, Michelle just got her ticket, I think last week or the week before. I got mine at convention last year. I was just like, I did not want to miss out on the early bird special. But guys, I promise you, it's one of the best events you will ever attend in your life. Now, Dr. Joy is a doctor, right? Doctor in education, doctor in psychology.
But just education.
Okay. And so she understands, like, the power of collaboration, the power of being in the right room, the power of like understanding when you go to different conferences. That's great. That's great. Sometimes you go to some and they're really exciting, but the lifelong effect that certain
Yes.
conferences have on you versus others, that's what this
Mm,
I mean, every time people talk about convention, see, if you haven't gone, sometimes it's not that exciting. Like I have my best friend always says, do you hype stuff up so much? Like I'm always worried if it's really gonna be what it is because you hype it up so much. And then when she gets there, like let's just talk. I'm talking about in the cruise in this sense. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Everything that you hyped it up to be, that's exactly what it is. That's how convention is. Michelle was the same way, right? Michelle, put that in the chat. How it really blew her mind when she got there. She just couldn't stop crying. Every time I look down the road, she wiping her eyes. It was so good. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. The power of being in the right room. And right now, we're talking about like locally, where are you in the Midwest area? Even if you're not in the Midwest, we have some things going on in other parts of the United States that we don't want anybody to miss out on, right? We are celebrating 9 years in business. Like that's amazing. There are a lot of people who get started with a thing, but they never finish that thing, right? They'll get started.
mhm.
Everybody's excited when something is new. But after a while, it'll start to wear off. Right. That's what it
Mhm.
is. But we did not wear off, guys. And the ones who are still here, we have something to talk about. So this weekend, I see, hey, Yelena, you're always with us. I love that. Yelena, where are you? Where are you? Where do you reside? Are you in the Midwest area? Because I need to know if we're going to see you in Chicago Sunday or Milwaukee on Monday. I see LaRonda on. She confirmed that convention was everything. Hey, Teresa, we see you on here. Guys, listen. Oh, you're in Charlotte, Yelena. Okay, okay, good. Well, I'm so grateful that you're always in here with us. I always see your name pop up. You are in the Planet, right? Planet Marketing, let me know. So, listen, today at lunchtime, we're talking about the power of being in the room. I want to share something, Dr. Joy, and this is gonna give you just a little sneak peek of what one of the rooms actually consists of back at convention. Okay.
Mhm.
So, anybody, those of you who are on StreamYard, wherever you are on live, I want you to put in the chat when you hear the word the words locker room, what do you think about? And Dr. Joy, you don't have to type it in. It's me and you. So I want us to just chat about it. When you hear the words or the term locker room, let's go to the locker room. Take it up in the locker room. What do you think about when you hear locker room?
I think locker room where decisions are made. It's
Mm,
all or nothing right here in the locker room. It's time.
wow. You know what? That I'm glad you gave that from that perspective, because my thought is always like it's the come to Jesus meeting. Michelle says sweaty men. Well, the next question, Michelle, was going to be women's locker room. What do you think about, right? So listen, when I tell you our locker room session at convention, it is where decisions are made. But for me, it's like these are the come to Jesus meetings. Like this is going to separate the ordinary from the extraordinary, right?
Mhm.
This is going to separate the women from the girls. Okay, it separates the men from the boys. That's what the locker room does, because locker room talk, you might hear anything, you might be told anything, you might get pointed at, pushed around, whatever, your feelings get hurt. And that's what happens in locker room. Well, they talked to us in women's locker room last year, ladies, and those of you who were at convention, you remember some of the things that they said was entrepreneurship is hard. Dr. Joy, you're a doctor. You're
Mhm.
talk about that journey to getting doctor in front of your name. Was it hard? Was it easy? Was it a breeze, a piece of cake, a slice of pie? What was it for you?
It was no dessert at all.
Mm,
It was very difficult. There were days when I cried. There were days when I was ready to quit. I remember wishing my mom was still alive because I wanted to cry on her shoulder. Nobody does it like mom. And but I had to pull myself back together and
mm,
make a decision
mm,
each day. Are you going to move forward? Are you going to let this stop you?
mm,
So it was an uphill journey literally until the end. And
mm.
then thank God.
Listen, I don't know if you all see it or feel it, but I felt like Dr. Joy was getting a little emotional when she was talking about
Yeah, I got tears in my eyes,
it.
literally.
But we always say this in our business, and it really should go for anybody in anything, whether you're in business with us or not. Your why
Mhm,
should make you cry.
mhm,
Your why should make you cry. And sometimes when you go back to that place, oh, and
mhm,
we got a whole video in our app that talks about, it's called That Place. And sometimes you got to remember what that place was that'll either take you back there or not. It might be a place you don't ever want to go back to, or it might be something that was so instrumental in your life at that time that you just remember everything about it, and it kind of helps you keep going, like Jackie just said. Sorry, Jacqueline Ward just said, keeping your goals in front of you. And
mhm,
I can appreciate that from Jackie Ward, because she's been very consistent lately. This message is not just for people who are in business with us, but also people who aren't. Stop being so wishy-washy. Stop being so start stop. Hey, Vanessa, when you say you're in, be in. When you say
mhm,
you're ready, be ready, because that's what women's locker room taught us. Entrepreneurship is hard, but you got to get out of your own way and do it anyway. Do it
mhm,
anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. You all realize that because I got up this morning, went and handled my responsibilities for my contractual position. I came back home and I took a nap. I took a little short cat nap, but I could have stayed in the bed much longer, right? My next appointment, I still have a couple hours, so I could have, but I said, nope. I said I was getting on at noon today because I have something to share and I wanted to be able to have this conversation with business partners or just with people who are out there. Somebody needs this on a Thursday at work. Somebody's wishing that Thursday was Friday, right? And so people who are who are in business, you have to remember to not allow anything to block your money.
Mhm.
Don't let if you at work right now, those of you who are at work and you can be on here with us because it's lunchtime or whatever the case. What does what does that mean when you say you don't allow anyone to block your money? What about you, Dr. Joy? You're a whole doctor. You got stuff that you have to do. When you say I'm not letting anybody block my money, what does that mean?
Um, I want to be very transparent in
Please,
this.
please do.
Um, Nobody stops my money but me.
That's it.
So I can't. I'm an only child growing up. I don't have anybody to blame anything on. It's
Hmm.
my responsibility to go get mine. And
Hmm.
so I can't if I'm not going to let me do it, I'm surely not going to let you do it.
Hmm.
So I don't want to stand in my way. And when I have had some blockage, I had to
Hmm.
go back and reflect and
Wow.
say, hey, Joy, you did not. There's nobody else responsible for that. That's me.
That's it. Hey, Corey Campbell. Corey Campbell, let us know where you're chiming in from. Dr. Joy, I didn't know you were an only child. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Usually you can tell the only child syndrome because they're very spoiled. You don't seem like that at all. Somebody
I've
might
had to
mistake.
work too hard. No, I
Somebody
had to work too hard. Mhm.
go ahead. You have to work too hard. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
my grandfather was in business, owned property. My aunt, my one aunt that I have left, owned property, owned businesses my entire life. My mother owned businesses, foundations. So it was work time. It was always something to work on. So
You
you
know
don't have time to be spoiled when you working hard, pulling up your sleeves, getting dirty, or
this.
figuring out what you don't know. You don't have
Listen,
time for being spoiled.
listen. There's somebody in that on live right now. Hey, Dr. Marika Tipton. Listen, she's another doctor, fellow doctor like you, Dr. Joy. She understands. I know if I invited her in the studio right now, I wish she could. Hint, hint, Dr. Tipton. I wish you could come on in the studio with us right now. Just tell me I sent you that link. But I if I asked her, what does it mean to not allow anybody to block your money? She's a whole doctor and a whole first lady of a church, a growing
Mhm.
congregation. And I know she would attest. I know she would agree with me in saying she doesn't let anybody block her money. Okay. She is a whole professional, but she's one that keeps it all the way real. So, like you said, Dr. Joe, when you've had the example before you, it's easy
Mhm.
to say, nope, nobody's going to block my money. Well, there are some of us who have the opposite, right? Like my parents were not college grads. Hey, Kathy Sapp, Director Sapp. My parents did not own businesses. My parents worked hard until they couldn't anymore, right? And so I think that's part of my drive. That's part of my push
Mhm.
is that I don't want to have to do it that way for that long. I've done it
Mhm.
that way for so long, but I want to be able to ease that for the people who are
Mhm.
coming behind me. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
still want, like, I
for
want my
sure.
nephews to work. I want my nephews to understand the value of working and understand like how to be a committed person to a job. I understand that, but I also want them to know that their gifts will make room for them. And that's so
Yes,
important, Dr. Joy.
for
I'm
sure.
battling right now. My husband and I have been in conversation about going to pursue our doctorates. And
Mhm.
because I'm such an educator, I'm such a teacher, a part of me wants to have that under my belt because I know it will allow me the platforms that I need in education to be able to teach adults who still have a love and passion for urban education, right? So I may
Yes.
But a part of me just wonders, like, oh, is it going to be worth everything that I fight for in it? You know, and I see your eyebrows, I see your head. Is the answer yes?
Well, I want to tell you this very honestly. I wish
Please.
somebody had told me. I wish somebody had told me. You have to have a plan after you finish. So it sounds like you do. And you definitely have to have the right support and the time. So if you're running for something, I'm never going to discourage you. I'm
Mhm.
going to say I'm going to get behind you even stronger and support you as best as I can,
Yeah.
because it's a journey and
Yeah.
you got to be fully suited with all your backpack and equipment on to get there. So,
I,
if you choose, I'm with you.
I believe, see, and my husband's aunt and uncle, who I've known almost all of my life. We just didn't know. They knew me since I was a little girl. They didn't know that I was going to be the person their nephew married like 40 years later, right? But I think they were the ones who told me when Dr. Frida, she said her and her husband sat down with us and said they had to have an agreement. Like both of them couldn't be in a program like that at the same time. It had to
Oh,
be one doing it while the other supported and vice versa.
mhm.
And so that's kind of where I am. He's actively in administration right now. So he might be the one to go get his first. And I'll decide, we'll have to see. But let's keep talking. Your comfort zone and your money zone don't live together. Those of us who are in business,
Mm.
we're all in here together. See, Dr. Joy, I'm just giving you a little bit of the nuggets that we get in the women's locker room at convention, which is why, again, I say it's so important to the power of being in the right room is vital. This Monday coming up, and for anyone who's on here, I need all of those who are serious about anything, whether it's business or work, your job, serious about anything. You have to understand your comfort zone and your money zone don't operate in the same vein. They just don't. And director JP Watkins Mukes, who's the next person slotted to be the next company's millionaire, will be here in Milwaukee with us, along with the first millionaire will be here on Monday. And you want to get in the room, you all. That's why we're putting this out there, because we really want to invite you to be in the room, and you don't have to even pay anything to get nuggets from these people of wisdom. But the women's locker room was led by director JP, who's coming, right? And again, she always says that your comfort zone and your money zone cannot live in the same place. They just can't. They can't, because anytime you're pursuing something and pursuing a doctorate, pursuing a new promotion, it's going to come with more money, but it also comes with more work. That's why that's not your comfort zone. Comfort zone is I'm good. I don't need anything else. I don't need a promotion. I don't need more money. I'm good right here. And there are a lot of people in education. You can attest to this too, Dr. Joy, in education, who are very comfortable. They just kind of sit. They're not looking, they ain't teaching nothing extra. They ain't learning nothing extra. They're not doing anything extra. They are content. And what scares me about that is children's lives are at stake in that place. And that's why
Yes.
I don't want to play games in education. I want to be in the game now in business. What
Mhm.
you think about that, Dr. Joy?
I fully agree. Our young people deserve engagement. They deserve growth from the people who are showing them, teaching them, guiding them in their life. Your education is a wonderful foundation or not.
Yes.
So it allows for you to see the possibilities or not.
Or
So
not.
when you have that, so when you have that task before you, it's very serious. You have to constantly grow and move and do the things that are necessary to give the young people or adult learners, whoever you're teaching, give them those, as we're talking about now, nuggets.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Nuggets. Speaking of nuggets, I have Miss B Andrews who just entered the studio with us. Hey, Miss B, can you hear me okay?
I can. Hello,
Good,
beautiful ladies.
good, good, good afternoon.
Hello.
Listen, you came in right on time. You know, you coming in, time to chat. Let's chat. I want you to tell the viewers out there, when you think of, well, this is the question I put out there for the viewers. When you hear the term or the words locker room, what do you think about? Right? Oh, see your eyes. I already know. So I'm not even gonna ask the rest of the question. I just want to know what the eye roll meant when you heard locker room. Tell the people. And Dr. Joy, watch how in sync we are, because she already knows where I'm going with that. Go ahead, Miss B.
Locker room, locker room, locker room. It ain't the general locker room where you go and change your clothes, okay? This is a place where you lock in your mind into the business, right? This is a place where you become business minded and you get the job done, right? The numbers start going up. Why? Because you locked in mentally, emotionally, physically, and you're getting down to the nitty gritty of what the goals are for your business. It is amazing. And when I tell you, when I rolled my eyes, it was more like, oh my God. It is like a fight with yourself, because there comes a time where you're like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Right? This is
Yeah.
part of your
Yeah.
goal. So you got to do what you got to do. You got to discipline yourself in that moment. You cannot come into the locker room with fear. You cannot come into the locker room acting as if you don't know what to do. You got to come in the locker room prepared. You got to have a pen, piece of paper. You got to have your cell phone. You have to have your list ready. You have to make sure you know what you're talking about when you get ready to talk. Okay. It is a place of business. That's all I got to say.
So Dr. Joy is about to get her convention ticket for next year. Yeah, already. See, she's not waiting. She said, I'm getting it, because she said she has to be in the room. And we're talking about the power of being in the right room. And I was telling her about what locker room is for us. And so I started talking about women's locker room. Director Carmen, if you can join us in the studio, I put the link in the chat. Just click on that. Let's go. If you can chat about locker room. Because Director JP Watkins Mukes is Michelle's in the locker room will get you straight real quick. And you heard Ms. B, you ain't getting up, you can't even get in the line to ask a question talking about some hemming and hawing and because you'll get your feelings hurt. They'll say go back, and don't get up there. They say questions. Don't get up here talking about, yes, so I this and I this, and in my business, they'll cut you off and say, that sounds like a comment, not a question. Let's go. Next, please. That's how like straightforward locker room.
OMG. I was talking about a different locker room.
It's okay. It was
it is still the same, but it's like the difference is you're in front of a room of millionaires. You can't go up there with just anything. You just can't. And so you have to, that question, you know how we say no question is a stupid question. Come on now, you know in your head that you can't go up there with a question like, what does it mean to be a prospect? What does it mean to be prospecting? What is my upline? What does that mean? You're not going up there with those kind of questions. You got to come with some stuff that makes some sense.
Some meat. Some meat. Because this isn't, they'll say, like, that sounds like a general session question. This is locker room. This is like the real stuff. And there, you got to be prepared for it. Kathy Sapp, 2-star director out there in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, she said it's still the same, Ms. B. So you right. Listen, the nuggets that are dropped in locker room, if you are in the Chicago or Milwaukee area this Sunday and Monday, you need to be in that room, because Director JP is going to be talking. And her whole conversation is locker room. It ain't even got to be an official locker room session. The way she talks is going to be locker room language, right? Compete, don't compare. That's why I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem wearing red, because I'm a red personality all day long. I'm always competing, and not in a bad way. It's always looking for that next level and doing whatever you got to do to get there. I'm not comparing my journey with somebody else's, because that was on here too. It said go through the obstacles. Your journey is yours. Did we not just talk about that the other night, Miss V, where I said our hard, it really shouldn't be the next person's hard per se. Why? Because we went through it. So let's talk to them about how not to go through it. Look at how quickly Dr. Joy has become acclimated to just plugging into everything she can, right? As a wife, as a mother, as a doctor in education, she's still finding time to say, I'm going to work my business. And not only is she working it, she's learning it while she's working it. We made that mistake of thinking that we got to learn it all first. Wasted a whole year, a whole 2 years because we trying to learn it first. It's okay to make some mistakes, bump, fall. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Guess what? Now tomorrow I'm gonna do it differently. So compete, don't compare, but competition is required. They told us that in women's locker room. Women's locker room, they said it August 23rd of 24. Competition is required if you want to win. You're not gonna win sitting back being complacent. And so I don't even like for my guests, my partners too. I don't even want anybody coming Monday if you just relax. Come on, Carmen. Can you get on? Can you get in the studio? Let me know. I don't want you to come if you just lax. I'm gonna just go because Denise asked. Don't do me a favor. I want to help you. I don't want you to feel like you're doing us a favor. We want to give you access. Somebody say access. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Access.
Access. Come on, talk about it, Ms.
You gotta come. When you think about convention, you gotta come with a purpose in mind. You gotta come with some fire inside. What do you want? You gotta know what it is that you're looking to get out of in this business. Right? When you go with expectation. And so when you enter into those rooms that you've chosen, you're going in there with a pen and a piece of paper, not a piece of paper, a book, because honey, the information that you're going to get, you probably take up the entire book.
That's it. Listen to me. I want to know who know, and everybody can't answer this. Is this another red coming in here with red on? Is this another red, Dr. Joy? Listen, let me say this. If everybody can't answer this question, when I used to interview people and other people who interview, this is a tough question for people to answer. You ask them, so tell me about yourself. People are like, or tell me your weaknesses. Well, I don't. Here we go. You don't really know you yet, right? So I'm going to ask a question. Like we want to talk about how you are different. How are you? When I say I know I'm a different breed, I know I'm a different breed. I know I am. Proudly. And that's in locker room too. Be loud and proud. Loud and proud, right? So I know that I'm different, but it's a different. When everybody else might be saying no, I'm saying yes. While everybody else is saying yes, I might be saying no. It can stand on it, Dr. Joy. While everybody else is resting, I'm probably still working. Right? And while the average people are working like this hour to these hours to these hours, I might be resting for this 1 hour so that I can go run 6 more. You see what I mean? Like I know it. I know where I wanted my team. No, not wanted. I know where I want my team to be on the 21st. I know. And at this point, it's gonna take a whole lot of something different to happen for it to happen on the 21st. It can, if God wants it to happen. And if not, I'm not going to slow down. No, that's how I know I'm different. I'm not, it gets discouraging when you don't hit the goals that you say that you're going to hit. It gets discouraging, but I ain't letting up. I ain't changing my mind. I ain't saying one thing and doing something else. And so when I say I'm different, I'm that person you ain't never got to worry about quitting. I probably still would have been at the school had I not been fired, because I don't really know how to quit. I get moved into a new position. I don't really just up and quit on people. So like even when we don't get along, guess what? We just didn't agree. Okay, and that's what grown people do. We disagree and we move forward. Come on, Minister Aisha, you ready to say something? I see it.
Yes, yes, yes. I was ready when you asked the question, what makes us different? First of all, thank you. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you that we are able to share information with individuals, showing them what the average life can look like working in the field that we work in. So when you say, how do I know that I'm different? One thing that we all should understand that, and I know this is not church, but I got to put it in here because this is who I am and this is how I grow in the business. When you understand that, you ever heard the term is being cut from a different cloth? Oh, sweetie, I'm definitely cut from a different cloth. Might I ask that, might I say, for the simple fact, I am fearfully and wonderfully made by God. I am a peculiar person. When you're peculiar, that means you're different. You set apart. And I know I'm different because when I don't see what it is that I want, unlike the norm that will give up, I keep pushing because I understand that the prize is not given to the swift or strong, but to those who endure to the end. So regardless of if you're looking at that situation and you're not seeing it happen, you got to walk by faith and not by sight. You got to walk by what you see that has already been paid. There are millionaires within our company who paved the way, knowing that our Father has no respect of person. If they did it, what makes me exempt? I'm not exempt from having the best because I am the best. I consider myself to be in the apple of my Father's eye. So I won't give up. And what makes me different is I walk with integrity. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. And that's what we lack in today's world. But we can be the example to many and let them know, if you think it's impossible, watch us, because we're going to show you that all things are possible to those who believe. So I'll stay the course. And let me be honest with you, that course does not always look promising. But again, when you know who you are, but most importantly, whose you are, you know you can accomplish anything. So get with a group of individuals that finds integrity. They walk in integrity. You know, get around some people that you know that are not quitters or losers. That you would keep moving and keep pressing. So I'm totally different. And regardless if I see anything, I'm still going to keep moving. Just the same amount of effort that I put in for others, you think I'm not going to put that in for myself or my children? Oh, no. Oh, we are strong and we are victorious, and we must be women and men of our word.
That is it's a whole message in that, you all. Like so many messages. Being a person of your word. Always remember this. When you feel like quitting, remember why you got started. We used to say that in schools. I'm sure schools still say that. Somebody has it above their desk at the door. On the day you want to walk out, remember why you walked in. The day you want to give up, remember why when you got started. Because every teacher, Miss B, Dr. Joy, I know every teacher going, I'm so excited. I'm going to put this up. I'm going to do this. They got all these ideas. And I used to tell my staff all the time, please keep that same energy. We're on offense right now. Every pass is going to happen. It's going to work. I'm going to have all my pencils here and all my pens there. And on Mondays, they're going to get from this box. And on Tuesday, well, when they come in and throw the pens around, I need you to know how to handle that. I need you to know what to do before the chaos comes in, before defense comes in. Now, how are you going to handle that, right? So people get excited from the beginning. It's exciting to them in the beginning. And as soon as something goes wrong, you can't find them with a flashlight. And that's what we want to get away from because it's so easy to do. You mentioned enduring to the end. Maybe there is no end on some things, right? There is. Who says there's an end? But why are we always looking? Uh-oh. Why are we always looking for the end of something? Just when you reach a goal, we don't just sit back and say, "Ooh, I'm there," because sometimes you don't want to miss, you don't want to lose it. Now you want to keep it, so you got to get as far away from that finish line as possible and get to the next, right?
And you know what? Let me pause right there. Pause right there. And when I speak of end, I'm talking about when we leave this world.
Yes.
There never be an end on unlimited opportunity. It's always unlimited, which means that it's always evolving. So when I speak of end, I'm talking about when we close our eyes. When you close your eyes, what will you have accomplished? What would you still leave going to where your family can pick up and keep it running?
That's it. That's it. Miss Dr. Joy, Miss B, anything to add on that piece, that message right there?
I just want to say I agree. I felt it. We are a peculiar people. We are. And again, within this opportunity, as Minister Aisha just said, it's unlimited. And as I spoke to earlier, I'm not going to let me get in my way.
Thank
That's
you.
all I have to say.
And that's what we do, you all. Locker room messages told us to push past the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Push past the pain. We're all women on here. I don't even see any men in the chat on live. So as women, most of you have had children. So you know what it's like to literally push past the pain, right? But as a woman, even before you have a child, just the monthly pains that you have and you push past, you push through the heartache that women have when they break up or get divorced or something didn't work out. You still push past the pain. There's always been this joke. I don't know if I should say joke, but this belief, because it's true, that women go through some stuff, but they don't even have time to just put it down and rest. They got to keep going because you always the one that everybody's looking to, right? Those of you with children and those of you with adult children who still need you for money and guidance. Oh, Lord, when do you get a break?
Woo! Listen here, director. That was so powerful what you just said about the pain. The pain is necessary in a lot of things in our life, but we don't like to go through the pain. When you go through the pain, you see the value of everything. The pain is necessary. I don't know any successful individual to this date that has not went through the pain. The pain is what builds us, it formulates us. It allows us to go back and tell those who struggling that I did it. You can do it too. So the pain is necessary in order to see the reward.
You know, they talk about the crushing of the grapes.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about the pressing of the gold in the silver, right? And when you think about that, you think about, man, you know, think about yourself and how that may feel if it was you that was a grape, if it was you that was that gold or silver, right? That pressing is painful, the stretching of yourself, right? And think about your business and what your goals are. Are you going to give up when you know that it's going to reshape you? You know that what you're doing is you're doing it for a purpose, right? If your purpose, you know, they teach us in this business of, you know, about your why. And if your why isn't strong enough, how in the world do you think you're going to stay in how in the world do you think you're going to go to the next level? Because you're definitely going to stay in the same position. You're going to stay stagnant if you don't have a strong enough why. It took me a minute to get my why, right? My why changed consistently. And I've been in this business for a couple of years, right? And, you know, being in this business also with the personal development and everything that has come along has really taught me how to be more adequate, because there was a point in my time where I was coming out, but then, you know, when you place yourself around people, like-minded people, then you become much stronger than you've ever been before. And I like to tell that story because some people think that everybody that come into business is extremely strong. Everybody that come into business is not strong. Everybody that come into business don't always know what to do or how to do it, right? So you have to be transparent. You have to be honest with yourself. The one thing that I love, the one scripture that I love the most is come before God in spirit and in truth. Because when you honest with yourself, you're honest with everything else and everybody else. You got to come into this business knowing who you are, what you want, and how you're going to get there to the point of where you want to be. So it's amazing for me.
Listen, wait a minute, wait. Nope. Because I want us to get the next part in. You're going to have something to add on this part. You watch. So that kind of goes right into what I was going to close out with. Hey, Terry M., our newest BP, is on the line right now. See, she's already ready to plug in. Those are the type of business partners you want anyway. The ones who are going to plug in. They see you on live. They want to see. She'll be in the studio next. Watch. So listen, that goes right into how our business is centered around more than just the money.
Exactly.
Oh, and people don't think that, right, Teresa? They think it's just all they talk about is money. Yeah, there are people who have totally blossomed.
Yes.
Michelle is one of them. Michelle, my cousin, she wasn't trying to talk to people all like that and be out front. Man, you could just see certain things unfolding because of the business. Now, in this next piece that we're going to talk about, we're going to try to cover this by 1 o'clock. The last statement says the Planet culture is unmatched. It is unmatched. But the top of the page was titled Self-Development Journey. Ask yourself this. What are you learning about yourself every single day? Don't answer yet. Just think, what are you learning about yourself? See, because a lot of people, and I know what people think about us, especially these rare personalities, they think they know everything about everybody else. What do you know about you? That's me every day when I'm in here by myself. Hubby gone to work. I got time to do what I need to do. I go make my runs. I come back home. But when do you reflect and ask you, what are you going to change about you? What you going to change about you? See, one thing about me, it's hard for me to, I'm coachable, but it's hard for me to listen to people if I don't think that they're doing it. You know, it's something about that. It's like people who tell me to eat healthy. I have a whole problem like, wait, now, because me and you like the same thing. You know, I mean, and I don't know if that's right, wrong, or indifferent. That's me. That's me. It's hard for me to listen. Hey, Patricia, it's hard for me to listen to somebody tell me how to run something, but I'm watching you. You don't know how to run it, but you can tell it's hard for me. And that was one thing that was said in the in the locker room. Strong people are the hardest ones to coach. And that's the truth. Strong people are the hardest ones to
Absolutely.
Coach. Good.
Absolutely.
Sometimes for great reasons, sometimes for not so great reasons. But what I don't want to be is that person who feels like I know it all and I can tell everybody everything, but I don't have room to be coached. Not at all. I want to be coached, but I don't want you to come to me soft and timid either.
Right.
I want you to be able to tell me, and that doesn't mean to be loud. That's why I keep trying to always like lower my voice, because I don't have to be loud to say it. I used to tell my teachers this. Sometimes if you do this, it'll come off differently. I said, close your mouth, and I'm not going to say it again. See, y'all remember when your parents and your grandparents, when they lowered their voice, that's when you got nervous. All that loud talk, I had to learn that about me. Like, if I come over there one more time and tell you your hands off that girl, it's going to be something. Now they know, like, oh, okay, I was Fields. Okay, Miss Fields. Because they knew. Now, if I say, Jonathan, I said, stop. David, I said, close your mouth. See, now it becomes deafening, right? But when I say, come here. if I say something one more time to you, it's going to be a whole problem. And I'm not playing. People take that a little more seriously, right? So that's one thing I'm learning about. I mean, one thing I'm learning about myself is just, how am I approaching every situation? Is every situation approached the same? Should it not be approached the same? I sit there every day and say, I know I'm gonna go hard for my business every day. And I might feel like nobody else is in this moment, but I am. Like I'm reflective like that. Somebody else chime in. Y'all go ahead.
Listen, I couldn't wait. Listen, look, there's so much that you have said thus far, but when you talk about it's not all about the money, it's not. The growth and development that you would come across within this organization under this particular team is so amazing. Me being a red all day long, I've had to be a red all my life. It's hard when you're used to running things to where you feel like you got it all. And what I learned is that I don't have to do it all by myself. That it's okay to be vulnerable at particular times, not vulnerable to everybody because everybody doesn't know have your best at heart, but to recognize that it's okay. It's okay to reach out to others. And what I love what you said when you talked about, and I'm kind of, all of this is tying in hand when Barbara talked about her why. When you talked about it's not about the business, my why will always lead me back to the people. And I'm hoping those who are watching truly see the authenticity of this conversation that we are having. And it's merely to be able to help someone. So this conversation that I'm saying right now, walking in the growth and development that I've accomplished, is for somebody out there. My why will always be to go back and help you. Not all of us come from a silver spoon. Not all of us come from family that taught us value. And it just so happened I'm one of them. So I want you to know that it's possible for you to be better, to become better, to do better. And if you have a desire in your heart to want more, look at me. Look at my life coming from the hood of Chicago. I can name some things that I'm ashamed of, but it made me who I am today. There's somebody watching that may have a past to where they did drugs or they gang bang or they stole or they had in their past altercation with law enforcement. Whatever your situation may have been, now is the time to where you can do more. You just got to step out on faith and trust yourself and trust God and trust the information that's given before you to where you can have better. I've come a long way and I'm not going thus far. Look at my business and what it has allowed me. If you can see my surrounding now, I'm in my living room. I have a beautiful view. I'm sitting on my couch, but I remember a time too I was crying, asking Father to show me more because I had nothing. The individuals that we are around, we're around doctors, lawyers, judges, officers, real estate, whatever background, different caliber of people that can help you grow and become the person who you truly desire to be and who you are. So I'm so grateful for this growth and development with my business that would help me become a professional in this business to gain the financial stability that I have that will go on throughout more and more and more of my generation. So I'm talking to you. Reach out to Denise. Reach out to Barbara. Reach out to Dr. Joy. Reach out to me if you're looking for something different because it's possible for you. Don't give up. Don't give up on you. Don't give up on your family. Keep pressing.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. That obviously the next statement falls right into that. Stay the course and be the best in the game. Dr. Joy, I think you have the smallest team out of the four of us on here right now, but you have a team nonetheless. Are you the best on your team right now? Are you the best right now? Just yes or no. Are you the best?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Miss B, are you the best on your team right now? Yes or no?
I am.
Okay. Confidence. I am. Minister Aisha, are you the best on your team right now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. And everybody should feel that way. See, I asked a question, I think to Minister Aisha the other day, and I learned this from somewhere. I think our millionaire coach who's coming Monday, Mr. White, he was showing us something. And he said, do you all believe that the captain of the team is always the best player? And the answer is no. The captain is not always the best player, but they should always be the best leader. There's a difference. The best player or the best leader. See, the player has a different set of skills. Me and my brother laugh at each other. We talk about each other, right? In love. We call each other fat boy, fat girl, right? Like we both probably about the same size. I said, what's up, fat boy? He said, hey, fat girl. and then one day, just recently, I think last week, I said, you ain't smaller than me, dude. Like you weigh more than I do, or something. I said, he said, I'm supposed to. I'm a man. I said, okay, so male bones are different than women bones, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, but we were laughing back and forth about that. The thing is that whether that's true or not, okay, but when we're talking about like the skills that you have physically as the football player, you might be the biggest and strongest, but your mindset is so warped, or your delivery is so out of order that you might be the biggest, but you're not the baddest. The baddest one is the leader, the captain of the team, who knows who to put in when, who knows who to take out when. And I always say, I don't care where I move. That picture right there, that Mamba mentality picture, that's always going to be behind me at this point. Miss B, you know Reggie. Shout out to Reggie Walker. Reggie Walker was a teacher that I hired to be a third grade teacher. Then I moved him up to fifth grade, sixth grade. Then I promoted him to be my dean. And one day he came up to me, and they used to always wonder, Ms. Russell, why are you putting these together on the team? You know, such and such is this and such is this. And I say, they aren't the same though. One of them is a little more level-headed. That's why I want them to be the leader. But they've been here 10 years longer. I said, so that's the problem. People think that age or numbers of years that you've been somewhere makes you the wiser person. No, they're always into some mess. I want that person to be the leader. And one day he came to me after questioning me a couple times as a male, questioned the female, but I was still the leader. He was a leader in the building. I was the leader of the building, right? One day he said, you know what, Miss Russell, I got to give it to you. You like the Black Mamba. You like, and I thought he said Phil Jackson. He had said some coach that was known for putting teams together. Phil Jackson, known for putting the best teams together. He said, you put teams together. People don't even see it at first. You spend all this time at the end of the year calling people in, saying, you like this grade? That's good. I'm thinking about moving you here, and this is why. And I didn't want them to feel forced. But sometimes they would, Ms. Russell, that ain't me. And I say, it is you, but you can't see it yet. I can see it. And every time they say, man, Ms. Russell, thank you for that. Thank you for that. They enjoyed it. Ms. B was a witness to it. So when I talk about, like, I would never have somebody's picture. To me, it's like having the Holy Bible, the cross, the things that I follow. I follow Jesus Christ, right? I can't have him up on my wall and I'm always cussing somebody out. That's so hypocritical. I can't have a Kobe Bryant poster about Mamba mentality behind me and I'm giving mediocre performance. So you got to be the best in the game. My goal is always to be the best on my team.
Period.
I want to have the best results. I want to have the best conversation. I want to be the best presenter. Now, my thing is this: leaders groom leaders, though.
Absolutely.
So if I'm the best, and I got to coach somebody else to be the best. Now, I want you to be the best, and the people you bringing up a team. Now, you got to be the best on your team. You understand? And it ain't, if somebody passes me up, good.
Yeah.
I've done my job. But I ain't gonna make it easy for you. You ain't ever gonna be able to just come skate past me. And I'm coaching you, because while I'm coaching you, I'm still moving. You see what I'm saying? That's the mindset you gotta have as a leader. Dr. Joy and Ms. B, y'all better jump in, because you know Aisha gonna jump in.
Look, I'm trying to be respectful here. You know, this director on the line, you know, you can't be talking over director.
No, I know. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying, y'all, she be ready. She be watching for that period so she can come right. Come on, Aisha.
It's me, Curia, and that's why I'm a preacher. But listen, let me say this. Shout out to my sponsor, my coach, my director, D.F. Russell. When you talk about a leader, she's a leader in this business as well as other things. And because she's a leader, she brought in Barbara and she brought in me. Duplication. She brought in other leaders and leading. Sister Joy, forgive me, Dr. Joy, for calling you sister, but you my sister.
Okay.
She's my partner. That's a leader that's on this line. You got leaders on this line. And because my partner, Joy, is thirsty, she has not stopped. So leaders groom leaders.
Yeah.
And Dr. Joy is grooming her leaders now. So come on, leaders. If you're a leader in any other field, come on, be a leader in this field and watch how serious we grow hard and we grow strong. Let's go, leaders.
Listen, Ms. B, I want you to answer that next because like Minister Aisha just said, she brought in Dr. Joy. Dr. Joy was the first one on here with me today. She was on Power Hour this morning, 6 a.m. She's already a leader. So although her sponsor brought her in, she got a sponsor a couple levels down from Minister Aisha. All she needed was to be led to the water. She know how to drink herself. Soon as she figures it out, she's gonna figure it out. So Ms. B, Sabrina's been following you pretty closely. You brought in Sabrina, right? So now you're taking the leadership that you have, you're grooming her. Talk about that relationship and how that's going.
Oh my gosh. You know, the funny part about it is when you meet somebody, you know, normally you take on this grooming that you have to do right away, and you have to really kind of pour into your people. But Sabrina was a different kind. When I met Sabrina, I met her on the outside. She wasn't even a part of my circle at all. She was a prospect that I met during a delivery ride. And when I brought her with me to an event, people thought we were family. People thought that we were already, you know, in a circle together. And it was like day 2 of us knowing each other. Right. So currently, I got her I didn't even have to do anything. At first, she was going to back out. So I just kind of know that she was kind of something like me because let me take some steps back and see if this really is going to work for me. But it was a word choice that was used to get her to understand you have to change your mindset at this moment because you're here because you want something. So it was me leveraging who we had first. Having her on my side in this moment has been invigorating because the woman is extremely hungry. She went out and got her first partner within, I don't even think she had been in the business for 30 days yet. And she went out and got a partner. And the partner came in on just one side. But then guess what? We have a director who drips. So she went in and dripped. And that's what we mean about in this business. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
Yes.
But as a leader, what I had to do was make sure that I keep her close by because she is one of my fireballs. And so you have to just continue and she sticks by my side very closely. So guess what I have to do? I have to keep moving.
Yes.
Now, one thing I know Ms. Barbara can attest to, Minister Aisha can attest to, and Dr. Joy. We wanted for our families way more than they wanted for themselves. And so, Joy, I know why you laugh like that. Sometimes you can't coach your children. You parent your children, even your adult children.
Mm-hmm.
There's an expectation that they're going to do what you say do, but that's not always going to work. This is their money, their investment. They don't have to do it. If they do it, they're doing it to appease you, but they aren't going to move. So now you just it's almost like having dead weight on your team because they're not going to help you move. They're just going to be a placeholder. And that's only if they're active, right? I mean, their accounts are active. So,
Coach, can I speak on that very, very
What?
quickly?
yeah.
So, coming into this business, and I want you guys to see how the transition happens, right? So, when I came into this business, my mindset was I got to get some people on this team because I saw people moving, and you get this excitement, like, oh my God, look at what's happening. I want that. Your mind is just going. Sometimes you have to sit back and you have to make a determination of what is the art of this. How do I become more strategic? I wasn't that person when I first came into the business. When I came into the business, I went and got my kids. I went and got people, and they just came and got on board. And like Coach has said, they came in because they loved me, because they trusted me, but they didn't have the mindset and the vision that I had. Right. So you don't want to make the mistake to just go and get people so you can rank up. That was a mistake I made in the beginning. And when you make those kind of mistakes, you have to suffer the consequence for it. And the consequence is lose and get back on track.
That's it. And nobody wants to lose what you have.
Right.
Like people just if you don't want it, you'll get rid of it yourself. But nobody wants to lose something, right? It's like me with my job. I wish I would have quit when I started seeing her change a little bit. I should have quit for dignity and pride purposes. I should have quit, but I wouldn't have because I'm not a quitter. So I had to lose, unfortunately, right? Well, when we're looking to see who we want to partner with, hey Tamika Jones, hey Tiffany Smith, we're not looking for everybody. We're not desperate. So if you get a phone call or a text or an invitation from any of us this weekend, inviting you to either join our Zoom tonight at 7 or to come to our travel party tomorrow night at 6,
yes,
invite only, or Monday to the big events of the freaking quarter. The 9th anniversary celebration here in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Hotel. If you're getting an invite, don't take that lightly because see, there's going to be a time where you won't be able to come. You're not going to get an invite. And now it's going to be like, I should have, like everybody says once they get in. But we want you when you do get started, even if it's not with us, in any business, any venture, pick a champion and follow them, but be authentic. Let me tell you the champion I'm following. You'll meet her on Monday if you accept the invitation, if I call you or if I sent you a message. I want you to come meet the champion that I follow. Her name is JP Watkins Mutes. I want you to come and meet her. I want you to meet some of the other champions that I follow, Mr. and Mrs. Walter and Tiffany Powell. I want y'all to come meet them. I want you to meet Mr. Shedrick White, the champion, the first champion in the business who became a millionaire, who, when I tell you, you're going to connect with one of these speakers. Miss Melody Washington, who rented out the whole amusement park yesterday to take her 2 grandboys so they wouldn't have to stand in line. If that's not boss behavior, honey, I don't know what is. But you go find a champion and follow them, but be authentic. Don't be fake trying to do what somebody else does. But let's talk to the men right quick. Hey, men.
Wait. Please, DF, let me say this real quick, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't feel discouraged. I heard our CEO, Mr. Bradley, said it's okay if you put the wrong person in the wrong spot at the time, you can still redeem. So I say that to say we know our children better than anyone else. So if you put your children in a spot and they keep their payment going, trust that what you've instilled in them, and they're steady paying their monthly bill, that it's going to come back. You can set them up for success. Although they may not see the vision now, at some point they're going to wake up, and when they wake up, mama or daddy gonna set them up with a gold mine. So be encouraged. If your children is someone that will catch on and they're paying, don't give up on them. Keep pushing them. Stay in their ear. They will get there.
Thank you, Minister Aisha. I want you all to think about how you partner with men in this business. That's something else that was a question for us. How are you partnering with men in your business? Because most times and I heard this a lot at our last travel party. There were a lot of men, right, Michelle? There were a lot of men at the travel party. But because they didn't say yes on site, because they want to hear from the men who will be in the room on Monday. Some people might get offended by that. Some women might get offended by that. But let me tell you what I learned from the champion that I follow in women's locker room. She said this: recruiting men is about posture. Posture. When I'm doing business, men know I'm doing business. Don't inbox me. Don't DM me. Don't call me, hey, beautiful. I'm happily married. I wear my ring every day. I wash dishes in my ring. I shower in my, I don't take my ring off. Okay. Everybody knows I'm married. So I don't advertise something that I'm not selling. Okay. So I'm not trying to flirt. I'm not being flirty. As loud as I'm talking and as strong as I'm talking, that's how I talk when I'm talking to me and recruiting them for business, partnering. I don't say, hey, I don't do all of that because I don't want you to mix it up. I might slip up and get too casual, Ms. B, and say, what's up, man? What you wait? I might talk to them like that because I don't want to make the wrong impression, right? But I'm gonna tell you what Mrs. J.P. Watkins Meeks said. And I said, I'm going to copy that because it's the truth. She said, I don't have one man on my team who is out earning me. And I say the same thing. I don't have one man on my team who is out earning me. Now, I'm not talking about, I don't care what they do for their job and their work. That's not what I'm talking about. Your salary might be higher. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in this business. So if you don't believe what I'm saying, and I don't have, because you have to hear from a man, I would have you talk to one of the men on my team, but none of them are making more than I'm making in this business. Oh, that's posture. Yes. That's posture. And what I love though is that there are a lot of men in this business who are, when I say handling their household bills and their parents' household bills, taking care of their mother and the grandchildren over there, all of that, they're doing it. But there's not one man on my team yet, and I want them to. I want them to. They follow me. They believed in this enough, or believed in me enough to say, I want to be on your team.
Right.
But now when you get there, you got to follow the leader. And if I'm following our leaders, then y'all do the same. Ms. B, I saw your hand.
Wow. When you said that about the men, I'm just like, oh my God, JP's amazing. Okay. It's just amazing. I love how she, I love people like her who just is so comfortable to speak up and speak out what she say what she means what she say.
Yes, she does.
But when my encounters with men, I've talked to a number of men in this industry, and a lot of them are looking for the financial piece, right? So the one thing I do not get is the ooh-ahs and the flirts, because maybe because I grew up with a bunch of men in the first place. I'm the only girl of 6 boys.
Like that, Minister Aisha, same thing, right?
Eight brothers, the youngest girl.
Yes. And I just have a different posture because of it. And my voice is already strong, and when I talk to men, my tone, my posture, my eye contact is different, and the word choice is different than what I would use when I'm talking to a female. So in that case, you know, for me with men, I have to look you straight in the eye because I need you to know that I mean business and it ain't nothing else more than that. So we look eye to eye, we have a conversation, and I ask questions because men have a different ideology than women do. So, and they have a different desire. So dealing with them has been amazing, but they just, for some reason, I just can't get them to grab onto the fruit. So I did get one male. I do have one male on my team who is my pastor. That was God driven all the way because
that's real.
I was told that I told myself that I couldn't go to him because the information that I had would not really interest him. That's one of the things they teach us in this business too. You ask everybody. Don't be afraid to ask anybody because you never know that person, that very person you think won't will. And he did, right? I introduced him immediately to my pastor. I mean, to my director DF Russell, and he got started immediately. Now, I did a presentation by myself. Director was running behind. He was there. You have to be prepared. You know, the one thing my pastor taught me is you always be prepared because you never know when I'm going to use you. Right. And so I brought that same thing into this business. And so when director was running behind, she was coming from out of town. She was coming from out of town and she was trying to make it to me. But I had to be prepared. So I did that presentation. I had no idea that he was convinced right in that moment. Whatever it was that the verbiage I used, I followed the system. I did everything that I needed to do. He about a week later, I believe it was, he came back and told me, you didn't know, but we were sold the day we came, my wife and I. Right. So you never know. Don't be afraid of anybody, whether it's a man, female, whomever it may be, a teacher, doctor, lawyer, whoever it is. Speak to what you know. Right.
Right.
Speak with confidence. Straighten up your posture. Right. Speak with confidence, knowing that you know what you know. Because in this business, you're not gonna. Coach talked about, and I'm gonna close myself out. Coach talked about being able to. Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. She talked about making sure that. Oh shoot, forget it. I can't get it. It was an amazing piece, and I needed that piece.
Well, you still gonna come close it out after Minister Aisha. You might.
So let me say this. In regards to men, I have 5 men on my team, and I'm sure we all can say we would love for our men to be really, really moving. And sometimes with men, it take them just a little bit longer. But the fact that they're on our team is what's amazing. And what I've noticed is when you're your authentic self, without an alternative motive, and men see that you just being you, and it just makes sense, and you can talk about the money, you got a man's soul. So I haven't had, being beautiful, whether it's this business or not, men are always going to try to approach us because we're beautiful, we're fabulous, but we're confident in who we are. I'm a married woman. Coach is, and Sister Barbara has her life too. And I'm just saying, if you just be yourself and talk about the business, and if there is an opportunity to where someone comes to you on that level, you just got to set it straight. But when you're authentic, you shouldn't have that problem. And I appreciate the men, and I was actually, to be honest with you, a little shocked, but still appreciative that they saw the power that Father gave me to be able to demonstrate and talk about the business that we have to where they're now our partners. So great opportunity, DF. I'm getting ready. I got to get ready to get off this line.
Yeah,
I have another meeting. I have another meeting. So thank you all so much. And I'm just hoping that you all, when you see this, at what point do you all just say, you know what? I keep seeing these ladies all the time. Just come and see what we're talking about. How about that? Just pop up on Monday and ask for Minister
That's
Aisha,
it.
DF, whoever you choose. Ask for us and come on board and let us help you. You all have an
Thank you.
amazing day.
And that's how we're closing out, you all. Listen, I want to thank my business partners. I want to thank all the guests, those of you out there on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. I appreciate you all this afternoon. As always, there's always an invite, though. Tonight at 7 p.m., the Zoom is 277-973-9239. 277-973-9239. But guess what? If that's too late, 7 p.m. Central, we have another one at 6 p.m. Central on the Planet Marketing Facebook page. Just inbox us. We'll show you where to go. And then at 6:30, in case you need some time, you got there too late for 6 o'clock, at 6:30, we have another group of presenters who are going to be sharing this evening at 6:30 Central. But again, if 7 o'clock works for you, the Zoom is 277-973-9239. We are launching three more new business partners. That's tonight. Tomorrow night, you need something to do after work. Inbox myself or Minister Aisha. There's going to be a clubhouse gathering. If you, as a guest, you want to be here. The atmosphere is going to be nice, but it's a travel party. It's a travel party. You all need the information. Reach out to Minister Aisha. She'll get that information to you. And then Sunday, if you're in Chicago, wave Dr. Joy. She's on the move. She's going to be there. Minister Aisha, Barbara, they're all going to be there on Sunday. I have church obligations. I'll be here at the church. But on Monday, oh, so ready. Wear your red and black. I ain't wearing the same sweater. I'm going to have on a black suit, red top, maybe all black. But that's how we coming on Monday for the 9-year anniversary celebration. Guys, I'm so excited about this Power Packed week. We'll be having a lab right after that on Tuesday. Director Carmen is going to be in the house. We're going to get together and round up Tuesday and follow up with every guest that came through that door on Monday. If they didn't get started, we're going to close them out and get them started. Guys, this is an opportunity that you and your family deserve. That's all I'm going to say. If you have any reservations about anything happening in your household, financially, personally, emotionally, whatever it is, sometimes you just need to attach yourself to the right group of people. And we're going to be in that room, the Harmony Room, at the Potawatomi Hotel on Monday. You don't want to miss it, y'all. Inbox us, okay? I hope you all enjoyed this segment of the power of being in the right room. Networking is vital. Let's get it done. Hope to see you this weekend. Hope to see you tonight. Bye-bye.